What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to part 24 of the Crew Cab Charger. I am EJ, your host, and yeah, we gotta fix our colossal screw-ups from yesterday. First and foremost, yeah, guys, I don't know, if you watch the VOD on part 23, or you're watching this live, or you watched the VOD yesterday live, or the stream yesterday live, I got a little pissed off. I lost my temper. It's very unbecoming. I don't try not to lose my cool on stream, like ever, but sometimes, man, I'm just having a day. Just having a day, dude. So, anybody that I cursed out, Finn TGM, if you're out there, dude, sorry I yelled at you. If you ever see this, let's be real, he probably ain't coming back, but what are you gonna do? What happened? I just got pissed. I blew through an old weld, and, yeah. I tried to go get the leaf spring all kind of squared away, and I screwed it up. I screwed it up bad, and yeah, I got really pissed off. I couldn't think straight yesterday. I found out that Bree and I are both sick. Not COVID, but yeah, we both got something, because we both do not feel good. But don't worry, I'm okay today. We gotta we got to rebuild more structure in that part of the frame where I blew through. I don't think my patch panel was adequate enough. Yeah, Jim, that's the only thing I can really attribute it to, that I just was sick and I just really wasn't feeling very well. Whatever we have, dude, is very strange. Because you don't feel bad particularly, but you can't, like, think straight. Like, real brain fog stuff. We took COVID tests, one came back negative, so I don't know what we got. We got something. Could just be allergies. I don't know. But yeah, we were out and about doing normie things over the weekend, so we were around a lot of different people. So who knows? Dude, if it was easy, car repair wouldn't be the art form as it is. It's all good. Yeah, but that's still no excuse for cursing out a viewer. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I know I shouldn't do it. Sometimes it happens, though, man. Hey, Ace. What's going on, man? 46-month resub. Yeah, so Bree is sick in bed right now. I'm okay for now. I slept it off, whatever I had. Guys, I shut off the stream and went and lied down in bed for pretty much till this morning. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really kind of put two and two together until I talked to Bree. I'm like, "Are you feeling good?"
Oh, this is space.
She's like, "Nah,
I'm in space."
Fluffy, don't. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for gifting too. Yeah. So she was like, "No, not really." I'm like, "Can you think straight?" She's like, "No, not really." I'm like, "Okay, I think we might be sick." But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's still no excuse for doing stuff like that. So I wanted to apologize for swearing a lot, a lot, and cursing out a couple of viewers. So if I did, if I was a jerk, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Sorry. I would say it won't happen again, but nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? I usually don't get that pissed off. Like, dude, yesterday was just pushing my buttons, man. Pushing my buttons. And it wasn't even anybody in chat. Just, yeah. I couldn't think straight. Like, brain fog or whatever. I don't know. Like, I was like, I gotta do this, go to do this. Okay, let's do it. You know, like, very weird, man. Every time you drop an F-Bob, gift sub your own chat. That's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. I actually don't mind that. I'm throwing my popcorn if I don't hear no swear words about this car. Flippers with a $10 super chat for some medicine and tacos, maybe Wingstops. Oh, the reason why I wasn't on early is because I was out getting provisions. We got lots of chicken noodle soup, ginger ale, cough drops, Dayquil, NyQuil. Yeah. We got, we got plenty of good stuff. Plenty of good stuff. Yeah, the gift sub for his. That's not a bad idea, guys. I actually like that idea. That's that'll keep that from happening, dude. Flippers, thank you for the super chat. Fluffy, thank you for the 2 gifted subs. I appreciate it. But yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I shouldn't do that. That's very unbecoming. You shouldn't do that on stream. Ginger ale, Vernors from the old country. We do have Vernors, Fluffy. We do have it. But no, I got Canada Dry. I have Vernors imported from Michigan. But we have it in the downstairs fridge, and we only use that. We only break that in case of emergency. Okay. Just yeah. So we use the lighter duty stuff. Anyway. Yeah, so what I have teed up for you guys is we're gonna work on the car, then space news, and then after hours. So let's get to it, dudes. Where we last left off, I blew through a weld that I did that, well, I mean, we figured out that the weld wasn't good enough, because if I'm blowing through it with a welder at the lowest voltage setting, it probably wouldn't have held up the leaf spring anyway. So I might just cut it out and do it over. It's a step backwards, but blowing through the weld is blowing through the sidewall of the frame rail is very telling at the lowest voltage setting with a really low feed setting, low wire feed. That's pretty damn telling that repair was not adequate in my mind. I don't know. You guys tell me. You know, it's like a small G&T when you're sick. It's supposedly medicinal. Could just be an excuse to have a drink. Yeah, maybe. Much less grinding going forward. Yeah. If you grind the weld, if you don't get good... Well, I mean, Jim, here's the thing. If you grind the weld and you don't get good penetration, you're just going to grind the weld right off, which is what I've been doing. So, like I said, those welds on the back of the frame rail, on the left, the driver's side rear frame rail, are not adequate in my mind. They're not good enough. That's holding up the rear suspension. We really don't want that to break at all. Practice more before you try to do the final welds. Yep. Step backwards, but best to find it now. That's what I was going over in my mind, Fluffy. Like, should we just keep going? Should we just weld it in? Nope. No. We could weld it in, and honestly, it'd, because the leaf spring's kind of all plug welded to it and stuff, and then the trunk pan's on top of it and the rear cross members there, it probably is going to be okay. It'll probably be fine. But I don't want probably would be fine. Not with something that's holding up the suspension. I don't trust that. I don't want to do that. So, hey, Tom. What's going on? So, yeah, we're going to have to figure out some stuff. Yeah. You know who else has 2 steps forward and 1 step back? SpaceX, you're fine. Yep. Yesterday, my frustration with lack of progress was coming through. I knew this was going to be a hard job. I knew it was going to be a hard job. But it was an unknown. You don't know how difficult it's going to be until you go and do it. This is a tough one. I see the point. Another big point of this project is, why don't people rebuild cars? Why don't you just rebuild it? Some people, auto shops and restorers and stuff, if the car is rusty enough, they can sign it off. Like, they say, no, it's too far gone. It's too far gone. The truth of the matter is that nothing is too far gone. What that really means is that the amount of labor it would take to fix that car, you're never going to get a return on investment. That's what too far gone means. Not that you can't fix it. I wanted to figure out what too far gone actually meant. And I will tell you right now that this car would probably have been consigned to being too far gone. But we will follow through and we will fix it. Is Brimo okay? Yeah, she's sick, dude. She just came down with something. It happens. We were out and about doing normie things over the weekend. We were out and about doing normie things over the weekend, and I think I got sick yesterday. I think we both got sick. Yeah. But, it was slight asymptomatic, whatever it was, because I could not think straight yesterday. Even if I sat here and played Workers, I wouldn't have been able to think straight, dude. I literally went back to bed, and after I shut off the stream at 5 o'clock, I went back to bed and slept until this morning. That's not good. That something's bad, but I slept it off apparently. I feel okay now. Moral of the story, don't be a normie, right? Right? Yeah. So, Element, over in the Discord, you want to know what that car is in the Dodge Garage article. Everybody, so I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, you saw part 23. We got featured in Dodge Garage, Dodge Garage, which is like a site that deals with the aftermarket for Dodge vehicles and stuff and modifying stuff, and the Coronet got featured. Yeah, my buddy Sean, who watches the stream, yeah, he wrote an article about it, and there's the Coronet in my parents' driveway covered in snow. There it is at my buddy's shop. There it is in my shop before we started cutting everything. And it's a pretty cool article. Yeah, that was after the stream when we smoked out the garage after we got the engine running right. Congrats on the feature article. That's really cool. Thanks, man. Yeah. So everybody was wondering what that is right there. So that's my neighbor's car. It's a 37 Ford pickup truck. And my neighbor wanted to get rid of the tri-power on that car. It has a 283 in it with Chevy motor, 283 small block Chevy with 327 heads. I traced the casting codes on it, and it had tri-power on it. But it had tri-power on it with 2 blocking plates, so 2 of the carbs were non-functional. So it was a tri-power with a 2-barrel carburetor that looked like 3 2-barrel carburetors. My neighbor wanted to swap it over to a 4-barrel. He got this car from his boss. His boss gave it to him as a gift for working at the company that he works for a long time. I'm not going to say what it is. Chevy engine in a Ford. Happens all the time, dude. I'm not quitting, Joe. Yeah. That can't be the end in a follow-up article. It has to be a W. Yeah, that article basically sealed the deal. I have to see this project through. I really don't have a choice. I got to see it through, man. So he gave it to him with three 2-barrels, but one of the 2 barrels was operable, but it was made to look like tri-power. It's some real old school ricey stuff. But so I swapped the intake manifold and put a Brawler 4-barrel on it, and then I down jetted the hell out of it because my neighbor told me it was a 350. It's not a 350. It's a 283 with 327 heads. I traced the casting numbers. It would have been some cool streaming content, but I obviously can't work on it in the garage, and I didn't want to show the plate or anything like that, so that's about as much as you got to see. I took this picture like this on purpose. Can you link the article? Sure, man. So, why did I have this? That's a tier 3 109 month resub. Thanks, buddy. Where's the Spitfire to take out the 109? Yeah, right. I linked it in YouTube chat as well. So, yeah, I swapped the three 2-barrels with a single 4-barrel intake manifold, and we had to change the valve covers because it was a intake manifold oil breather, and then I swapped it to a valve cover breather. If you know small block Chevys, that makes sense. I just had to swap some parts. I have a 327 in my garage. It's actually behind that trash barrel right there by the vise and everything. You guys can't see it, but it is over there. So I swapped the valve covers off that 327 because that had breathers on the valve covers. So we swapped it, and then I adjusted the rockers to make sure they're basically at 0 lash when the lifters were pumped up. It's a hydraulic flat tappet cam motor, so yeah, it's you don't need to lash the valves. You just need to set them to basically 0 lash. when the valves are closed. But it's zero lash, but enough to be able to twist the push rod, because the push rods spin around on a small block Chevy and they oil through them, which is very, very important to get that right. Sounds like you need a bigger workshop. Yeah, tip $5 a pun geese, and instead of 1, and maybe I'll get a bigger workshop. I'm just kidding, man. I missed your tip yesterday, dude, because I shut the alerter off by accident. Because it wouldn't stop going off. But, no, I'm just kidding, man. I would only say that because it's you. So, yeah, I missed one yesterday. I'm sorry. I was not thinking correctly. So, yeah, I worked on that car. Why do I have it? I worked on it so I could get some extra cash for the car. It's a 327 Hellfish. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I haven't traced the casting codes on it. My uncle gave it to me. The uncle gave it to me. That was payment for moving the 429 across the country. It was payment for that. Your workshop is awesome. Thanks, Joe. Spaceboat. Gifted 1,000 bits. Thank you. What is this article? It's an article in Dodge Garage that the Coronet got featured on Dodge Garage, which is it's a website for it's Dodge Actual. This is real. This is Dodge, like the car company, and we're featured in it. My buddy Sean works for Dodge, and he wanted to do an article about the crew cab, Charger crew cab, building character over perfection. So we got featured by Dodge, like Dodge Actual, which is pretty cool. Too bad Dodge has no money, or they could sponsor the build. Yeah, I'll pay for it myself. If they want to give me a Elephant engine or something, I'd be okay with it. But, yep, that's when I first bought the car. That's it in my shop. This picture was taken probably in like 2013, 2014.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I didn't tell the stream about it for a long time. Yeah, there you go. Weather guy, 62-month resub. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it's pretty cool. But yeah, everybody was wondering what the hell is that other car. You've never talked about that. I worked on that car to get more money for the build. And now kind of the word is out that I can fix old cars, which is scary. But yeah, who knows? That's really cool. Dodge Actual feature. Yeah, it's pretty neat, man. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so at least we got Ram back into NASCAR. Yeah, Dodge announced Dodge is getting back into NASCAR. First with Ram, and then in actual, like, the Cup Series, which is pretty cool, man. That's pretty neat. First new engine supplier to NASCAR since Toyota. Kind of weird of them to own their own fan site. I don't understand, Sig. What do you mean? Every automotive manufacturer has sites like this, dude. You could set up a little side hustle fixing other cars, just take off the plates to anonymize them, and they should be good. If I had more garage space, you guys would have seen this project, Tessa. But yeah, that's the idea. Congrats on the article. I have you on while I work, and the car work has been a lot of fun to watch. Don't be hard on yourself. You're doing a kick butt job. Thanks, Tally. Yeah, I just don't want any bull crap with my streams, dude. Especially from me. Ouch.
What genre are national anthems? Country.
I retract my previous statement, Geeson. Do not do that again. I know you're gonna, but yeah. Hey, Outdoorsman, what's going on? Are you gonna have a custom license plate for it? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that we got featured, which is I don't know about you guys. I'm getting some disgusting imposter syndrome right now, like disgusting imposter syndrome. But you know, whatever. All right. Sounds like a cool project for your neighbor. Is the body and interior in good shape? It's been around the block element for a car that's almost 100 years old. Yeah, what is it, 88 years old? 37, 25, yeah. It's pretty old. I mean, it's got rust, but it's not bad. It's drive. The frame is fine. Is Roadkill magazine a thing? No. I've been in the newspaper cleaning an old cemetery that dates back to the 1850s. So that's cool, Clayton. Neat. Roadkill's dead completely. Yeah, there's no Roadkill anymore. Discovery canceled all of it. I'll just work. Last night in baseball, went 3 for 4 with a 2-run shot. Currently hitting .684 with 1.382 OPS. You're batting .684? What league do you play in, Outdoorsman? .684 is great. And how many games have you played? It's .684 batting average over how many games?
Discovery, go at throttle.
That's really good, man. Hey, J-Speed, 123 month resub with the message 456. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I got you. Men's league over 8 games. .684 over 8 games, dude. Good for you. That's awesome, man. You think he needs a higher league? I mean, that's really good.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
I said don't do that.
What do you call soup that's cold? Chili.
Okay, I'm going into the shop. But anyway, I think that was a really, really good article. Thanks, Pengzor. I think that article really encompasses kind of what I'm about and what I like doing. Am I in time for the bacon and pineapple welding section of the stream? No. Did you have any editorial impact on the article? I looked at the article before it was released, Sig, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, I was asked. Sean asked me to look over it and make sure everything was right. You're gonna get up early for the Axiom launch tomorrow. It got moved, yeah, and there is some space news regarding that. That's actually kind of interesting. Yes, I will be here. I did miss a Starlink launch this morning too because I was taking care of Bree, guys, making sure she got everything she needs before I come out here and work. Speaking of shops, we got to get you to Salt Lake City for a virtual field trip of the Stradler Train Factory. Cool. That'd be pretty sick, man. I have a chart on the inside of the welder. A chart that looks exactly like that, all systems. I should probably be consulting it more. Anyway, let's go out to the shop. Stand by for loss of signal from the office as expected.
Okay, how you guys doing? It is a rainy, gloomy day, but how's the delay? Are we good? I think there might be a little bit. The Don Garlitz Museum of Drag Racing is really cool. Question? Yeah, it is, Clayton. Good, 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 good. All right, cool. I just have to refresh the pop out.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
For YouTube. YouTube, I don't see you guys just for a second. Give me one moment. Did you weld that mess up yesterday? Sun Temple, no. I basically slept yesterday. I'm kind of thinking that I might be sick too, but I slept it off yesterday. Whenever I get sick, dude, and I realize that I'm sick, like, I just go to bed and I sit there and I don't do nothing. I don't do nothing and I drink a ton of orange juice and vitamin C. Shows good, no delay. Perfect. How are you, my old chum? Chris, what's up, man? So yeah, whenever I get sick, guys, so I couldn't figure out why I was so pissy yesterday. I was like, what the heck's going on? I don't lose my temper like that. What's happening? And then I asked Bree, and I'm like, do you feel good? And she's like, no. I go, can you think straight? And she goes, no. I'm like, okay, cool. I think we're sick, but whatever it is, we're kind of symptomatic, I guess, or something. I don't know. It's not COVID. We took tests. They weren't expired either. It's definitely not COVID, whatever it is. But yeah, it was hard to focus on anything yesterday. Like, I couldn't think straight. So when I can't think straight, I get frustrated. Yeah, I don't know. So I was going to work early this morning, but I spent the morning taking care of Bree, making sure she's all good. How's Bremen? Is it cold? Like, Tessa, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know what we, like, yeah. I just can't think straight. Like, I'm here. I don't know what it is, dude. And usually I just try to suck it up, right? Like, I'm just like, oh, dude, all right, you can't think straight. Whatever. Just, yeah, okay. Keep telling yourself that. Just get over it. Let's go. But yesterday was bad, man. I couldn't think straight. Couldn't weld straight. Like, literally, my welds were, like, all crooked. We went from doing perfectly straight, crystal clear welds on Friday to, like, I regressed, and it was pissing me off. Like, I couldn't make my hands do it right again, you know? Sounds like a couple cases of 2025. Yeah, maybe a gaming session to make you feel better. Well, Stuart, I went and I slept it off. What I do when I'm sick, if it gets bad enough, and I kind of realized this when I went back inside and I was so pissed. I was so pissed that I got mad, right? And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to sit here and do nothing for the rest of the day. So I went in bed, covered up, and did nothing, and just drank a bunch of orange juice. Vitamin C usually helps. And I basically rested, and I did nothing until this morning. So I woke up at 8, and then I went and did errands. I got Bremo everything she needed. I got her chicken noodle soup, stocked up on a bunch of provisions, etc., etc. So, yeah, I'm good today. I don't know about Bree though. Bree seems to have it a lot worse than me. But either way, I got a clear head today. I know what we need to do. Frozen concentrated orange juice for $1. I lost $1. Looking good, Mr. Fluffy. Feeling good, EJ. Probably a 24-hour bug, whatever it was, dude. I'm okay now, but yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to I cursed out a bunch of people yesterday. That's not me. That's not what I do. Can't really take the mantle of being a STEM educator, helping people, and then tell them to go screw themselves. You know what I mean? Killer, need more Canadian maple syrup. Oh yeah, bud. So some of the other errands that I did are. I picked up more welding magnets from Hobo Freight.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Freaking magnets. How do they work? I got some really cool angled magnets, so you can use them to hold different angles and stuff. Pretty sick. I got some regular magnets. How do they work? So we got a bunch of good stuff. And one more thing that I really could have used yesterday. Now, I couldn't find a welding spoon, They didn't have them in Harbor Freight. I asked for a welding spoon, and the guy looked at me funny, just like when everybody yesterday was like, you should use a welding spoon. I'm like, I don't know what that is. But I do have this. Brass hammer. This should work. This will work just fine. A welding spork, duh, yeah. So, brass monkey. All right, so what this basically does is that you put it behind what you're trying to weld, and you can use it to build up a pool. So I can use this to help me with the blow-throughs that we did. We can rebuild it, because when you weld, it doesn't bind to the brass, or at least I'm told that. I swear if people were screwing with me and I go to weld this and the hammer gets welded into the frame, I'm going to be a little pissed off, but it's okay. I already have magnetic lights, Clayton. I don't need those. If you guys notice and can hear the Discord notifications coming through the mic, I have Discord. I have Discord unmuted in my phone, on my phone not on silent. The reason why is in case Bree calls me if she needs something. Question, can you use that for welding things upside down? I hope so. I would expect the weld metal to also stick to the brass but easily be broken free. Everybody was telling me that, Shaw, and this was like $5, so no harm, no foul. We will put that theory to the test today. I just hope the handle doesn't catch on fire. It probably will. So I got my fire extinguisher handy just in case. So yeah, I guess because brass is the way that it is or something. You know what, Bree will just call me if Tessa, that's a good point. Bree will, I'll just put it on streamer mode. I'll just put it on streamer mode. The melting point of brass is 900, copper is 984. Check that brass with a magnet. It feels cheap for brass. Okay. Maybe it wasn't like $5. It was very inexpensive. But yeah. The magnets are not sticking to it, and the magnets Did I just do the thing where you demagnetize something? No, they're working. Do they work by themselves, though? Oh, shit. Did I just demagnetize these? That would really suck, but these were $3, so. Test them on the body. Let's get them out of the package first. What a day. These past 2 days have sucked, man. All right, ready? Okay, it was just the package. Now, with that being said, if it was just the package, nothing. All right, we're good. I was going to say, there's no way we just broke that. Come on. I don't know enough about magnets to know one way or the other. They're not demagnetized. Look, they're sticking. They're actually sticking pretty well there. Cool. I was going to say, that would happen, you know. that would freaking happen. Okay. All right, so I did vacuum this place up this morning when I came out here. So all the metal shard is off the ground. I basically haven't moved the cameras. We'll pick up basically right where we left off. Where I left off is this colossal screw up on my part. There's metal shavings all over the damn camera. Those are some weak magnets, must be ferrite based. They were $4, Tessa. I wasn't expecting much. The other magnets that we got are very, very strong. These burger magnets are extremely strong. These ones will hold stuff together. Yeah, very good for holding odd shapes into position. I always get neodymium. Yeah, for $4 you're not getting that. So the other magnets are worth more. But yeah. All right. So that's where I screwed up. We blew through my welds on this patch right here. So I did a patch that goes basically from this tack all the way back. And I did grind it down to try and make it look nice, but grinding it down, when I did that, I realized I really didn't get much penetration on the back side of this thing. So it looks like I didn't cut out enough bad metal either. So this globule of metal here is basically me building back up the material where the damn frame rail is supposed to be. Because the way I sectioned this, I sectioned it right here. Because making an upright piece like this with one bend would be easier than trying to make a double bent piece, because this is a weird shape right here. The frame rail comes up and then it flattens out right here. So what I was trying to do yesterday is just glob up everything here to rebuild this part by just re-adding material. Same thing that we did with the front of the frame rail, which did come out really, really nice, by the way. I will show you. This was the one big W from yesterday. The frame rail, I looked at it. It came out real good. Look at that, man. That was gone. There was no frame rail here yesterday or last week. That came out real nice. I mean, you could still tell that it's been patched, but you know, that's okay. It's all right with me. It's a little wavy, but you know what, man? I'll take it. Very strong. That ain't going nowhere. So that was a huge W. And then this part of the frame rail, this part looks just fine. It's just when you start to get back there where the grounding, basically south of where the grounding strap is, so that way, that's when it really starts to get a little messed up. So, I mean, we've gotten most of this frame rail repaired at this point, most of it repaired and patched. The areas that I'm really worried about
Discovery,
with the leaf spring dudes is, here, let me show you. I'm just getting this stuff off the ground. I don't need that going through my knee when I get in there. I gotta turn on the alerter out here. Hey Porter, 119-month resub, thank you.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
There he is. So if you guys see where those two vertical holes are, these are holes that I drilled to plug weld. These are holes that I drilled to plug weld the leaf spring perch. Basically, there's a flat plate on the leaf spring perch that's supposed to pick up right here. The problem is when I made a metal punch right? There's holes on the inside of the frame rail, so you can see I'm sticking my finger through the hole, be good, right? And I drilled these with the pilot holes. Now, the holes on the inside of the frame are there to spot weld it. I drilled exactly where the spot welds were. But the problem is, if you guys notice, this metal is very wavy. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there's an indent right here, a big indent. That's not just a run in the paint like over here. See this? That's just a run in the Steel It paint that I did because I sprayed too much. There's a little bit of an indent right there, and these are just spots that I kind of plug welded up. There's still a little bit of a hole right there. We'll fix all that with the welder. But I punched right through the metal with my center punch. I'm not too incredibly confident that this is strong enough to hold. I really don't think it's strong enough to hold the leaf spring perch. I mean, even if I plug weld it, I think the metal is quite thin right here. So what we might do is just replace this. I might replace this piece here. But the thing is that there's a centering mark. See this tab on the frame rail right there? There's a little tab where it goes out. That is your centering mark for where you mount your leaf spring perch. If we replace that, I really wouldn't want to get rid of this because that is basically, think of it like coating. It's hard. It's a hard-coated spot to know exactly where the thing goes. If you center the leaf spring perch between the tabs, right, you center the piece that comes through here, it's basically in the exact same spot. I did check that yesterday. If somebody wants to double check it and see it on stream, then yeah, we can do that. I can show you. But yeah, I'm just not sure that this little bit right here is good enough. So the thing is, if we just cut this, okay, that's the solution. Okay, just cut here, and cut here, right? I just cut it out. Yeah, sure, but I'm not sure there's any good metal in the vicinity to weld back to. Now, my patch panel starts right here, and I do believe that there is some good metal. There's good metal, judging by the back side of the frame rail. There's good metal here, maybe in that area right there, but the good metal doesn't start to the other side of whatever this pilot hole is. I have no idea what that thing is for. This is only on this frame rail. It is not on the other frame rail. I do not know why that's there. I have no idea. I don't know what this is for. There's also a reinforcement bracket that goes right here. I don't know why that's there. I can only assume this is for some type of option for the vehicle that this vehicle doesn't have, because there was nothing here when I took this off. I don't know why that hole is there. We'd have to do some research to figure it out, but I don't, this thing is not on the other frame rail. There's no hole there. There's nothing there. There is the two holes right here for, I'll show you. There's the two holes right here for the spot welds. So this is for the back leaf spring perch right there, and that's for the front leaf spring perch right there, right? And somebody, on the line, they came in and they, a spot welder looks like this. It pinches, right? And they pinched the spot welder through there, through there, through there, and through there to hold the leaf spring perch in place, right? So those holes are supposed to be there. Those holes are on both sides. You can see them over there, but the other hole should be right there, but it's not. See, there's two over here. I don't know what that one's for. Those are the spot welding holes. There should be a hole right there, but it's only on the driver's side, so I have no idea what that's for. I really don't understand why that's there, to be 100% honest. I'm sure it's for something. They didn't do it for no reason, right? This is a machining process of drilling out through the stamping that was obviously done for a reason, but I don't know what the reason is. I can't figure it out. So I'm not sure how good this metal is. It's definitely, the reason why it's so wavy, guys, is because when the leaf spring perch was mounted right here, when the plate was mounted right here, they didn't protect the metal. And when water dripped down, it dripped down and rusted the bare metal surfaces in between the two flanges. And this metal right here, well, very, very thick, right? It's super thick metal, is actually bent because the rust expanded in here, and you could see exactly where it expanded against the flange. So, yeah, when the rust goes, it goes, and it really screws stuff up. I'm trying to find that piece that was there. I have it in my pile of reference material. I mean rust reference. It's over here somewhere. I can't find it, and I don't feel like digging through that because it's all sharp. Screw that. So that's kind of where I'm at. I want to try to hammer that out and try to get it flat. But finally, I can see a stream about welding. Hey, dongers, I want to be very clear. I'm no welder. I am very much learning. I'm using this car to learn. So I might not be the best teacher in this regard, but watching the learning process, maybe you learn something too. But hey, thanks for watching. You're starting welding class soon, 15 weeks of it. Anyone have tips for a beginning welder? So I'm a beginner too, dude. What I can tell you, okay, this probably isn't anything you're not going to hear in a welding class, okay? Grinder and paint makes the welder you aren't. Yeah, but make sure you don't grind the weld away completely, because that's my problem. All right, so it's all about prep. It's all about prepping the surface. You could be the best welder in the world. The best welder in the world can't weld the rust. You just can't. So when you weld, you're going to need a lot of stuff with it. You're going to need a flap disc, you're going to need a grinding wheel, you're going to need a cutting wheel on an angle grinder. All right? So, little word on this stuff, and this is advice that I need to adhere to. So this is a flap disc. See that? That's a flap disc. This is your fine adjustment for taking away material. Okay? This is for polishing surfaces too, but you got to remember the flap disc will take away stuff. So keep that in mind. All right? Then you have a grinding wheel, okay? Let me grab the other thing. This is a grinding wheel. The grinding wheel has thickness to it. You see that? This is for coarse material removal. Okay? So this takes away stuff. Takes away a lot of stuff. If you hit metal with this, it'll grind right through it. It'll cut right through it. Cutting wheel is basically a short version of this. You can use it for cutting things. Now, there's also this. I got a stainless steel brush here. This is used for getting rust off. This will not take away material. It just gets rust away, not steel. So you use this to prep your surface, and you could use the flat wheel, the grinding disc, depending on what you want, like depending on how much material you want to take away. Now, like I said, the key with this is prep. Prep is the big one, man. If you can't weld the rust, you want to get a good connection with your grounding circuit on the welder. You need to get a good connection. You don't get a good connection, you're not going to arc anything. So, what grit do you have on that flap disc? I have another one right here. It just says sheet metal flap disc, dude. 4.5, 1330 RPM max, 60 ceramic type 29. I don't know what that means, to be honest with you. So, get the surface that you're trying to weld real clean. Get it clean. Don't try to weld rust. I've made the mistake with this car a bunch of times of trying to weld rust, and it doesn't work. Take more time to prep. Got it. Make sure your surfaces are clean. Remember, the welder is entirely about making a connection. You can't make a connection with rust. Iron oxide is not conductive of electricity. I mean, it kind of is, but not as conductive as just straight steel, right? So prep the surface. Get everything super clean. You got to get it clean. You got to have a good connection. Now, when you go to weld, like dongers, have you ever welded anything before? Like, or is it you just cold turkey like I did? Like I just went and bought a welder and started learning, and I have people on the internet basically saying, do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. You haven't welded anything. Okay. Take your time with the damn welder. Take your time. Go slow. A good weld is one that, like prep work, right? A good weld is one that lasts. It's very easy for the weld to get contaminated, all right? You don't want your weld to get contaminated, like if you don't have the right gas setting for your welder and you don't move the right amount of gas, right? It's not going to weld right. You're going to get rust inside of your weld. because so what the welder does is it arcs electricity through metal rod, and that rod is shielded by a column of inert non-reactive gas. So argon and CO2 is what I'm using because it's a little bit cheaper, right? That gas shields the arc and keeps it nice and pure. You want to make sure that your weld doesn't have rust trapped in it. If you don't weld with the right gas settings, right, or you don't get the thing close enough and the gas doesn't protect the arc, right? So the arc is going to react with the atmosphere. If it reacts with the atmosphere, what's in the atmosphere? Oxygen, nitrogen, humidity, so water to an extent, hydrogen and oxygen. It will react with the humidity in the atmosphere, it'll react with the oxygen in the atmosphere, and it'll instantly make rust inside of your weld. You got to be very careful about that. So you don't want to contaminate your weld. You have to make sure your settings are good and make sure that you're welding the nice clean metal. Now what I do, I use weld through primer. They're probably not going to say to use this in the course because you want to learn metal first. Like, I use Steel It because my garage is not climate controlled. This is primer with metal flakes in it that if you weld to it, it's conductive, but it'll flash the paint off wherever the weld is, and so it won't get contaminated. I'm going from being a truck driver to becoming a welder. I've seen some bad welds, from booger welds to rusty welds. Booger welds and rusty welds are the result of bad prep work. But the flip side of that, dude, is that you're going to get, and keep in mind, I have limited knowledge. Feel free to correct me, chat. It's also about the hand movement, dude. So, the hand movement with the welder, it's like, dude, it's like drawing. Seriously, how do you get good at drawing pictures of things? You just keep doing it, right? Like, I know this, and I've been sitting here for the last couple of weeks welding stuff, and what I've learned in the last couple of weeks is like my welds are light years ahead of where they were 2 weeks ago, right? So, like light years ahead, with the exception of yesterday. Yesterday I couldn't think straight. Yesterday, count that as a mulligan, right? So, when you get that welding gun up to whatever you're trying to weld, so a couple of tips. Get a light shining on what you're doing. The welding mask is going to make it hard to see things. Get a spotlight on what you're doing. Make sure you have good lighting conditions, all right? Because when you turn that welder on, the mask is going to go dark and you can't see crap. All you can see is the weld. If you have bright lights shining on what you're doing, it's a little bit easier to see where you got to guide that weld. Okay? Next, this was a big one for me, dongers. This was a huge one, okay? When you start welding and you pull the trigger on the thing and the weld starts going, hold it there for actually like a second. Hold it there for a second and make sure you got a good arc going, right? It should sound like sizzling bacon. It should go tss, right? Like it sound like bacon sizzling on a frying pan. And make sure the sound is exactly consistent. You don't want, yes, it sounds like that. You want like a good, like it, I don't know, like a Jake brake. You know, Jake brake, you said you're a truck driver. Jake brake, you know, if you're having problems with a Jake brake if it's not, if it's like, maybe your valve train's having some problems, right? Consistent noise is key. There's a very specific noise that you have to get, and it sounds like sizzling bacon. It's just, like I can't do the exact noise, but you get what I'm trying to say. So hold the weld there for a second, listen for the right noise, and what happens is you'll see the pool form. You'll start building up material, and it'll get really, really hot, and the metal will it'll start getting liquefied. It'll start getting heated up because the electricity is introducing a lot of heat, right? Let the pool sit there for a second, and then start doing your you know, you have to draw, like, do cursive E's or Z's, or you could draw like a cursive C, cursive C, cursive C. Go slow and be deliberate with your hand movements. Like if you're shooting, right? If you're at a range, right? And you're trying to, like, I don't know if you've ever been to a range. If you haven't, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Just be very deliberate, right? And move very slow to the next target, right? When you're welding, you gotta watch that pool, and you gotta kind of guide the pool where it needs to go. If you get good at using that gun, you can guide the thing, and you can basically draw out a really nice pool. Establish a puddle, then push the puddle. Yeah, the other thing is that you want to move the gun forward and back. So every time you do a C, when you do the C, you're pulling away, right? And push back a little bit, and then do another C. Push the pool back and forth with the welding gun. Like, it's the strangest thing, dude. It's like you can push and pull the pool, right? And you guide it where it needs to go. You know what it's like, dongers? It's like backing up a trailer. You said you're a truck driver. You said you should have experience with this. You can't just turn the wheel. You got to turn the wheel anticipating where the trailer is kind of going to go. Welding is like that. That's from my limited experience. It's like you have to guide that dang pool. It's not just going to go somewhere. You have to tell it where to go, and that means, you know, like backing up a trailer. You got to turn the wheel to the right. You got to turn the wheel to the left. You got to turn the wheel to the right. You got to turn the wheel to the left to get the trailer to not jackknife. And you got to go slow, just like backing up. Just go slow. Just meep, 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 meep. Just go slow. You got to watch that pool. Watch it. Watch where it's going, and you can steer it by doing slight pushes and pulls with the welder. Yeah, that's I thought it was an S. It really depends on what you're doing, Graham. It depends on the angle that you're welding at. But yeah. Oh, the other thing, dongers, get comfortable. Get comfortable. Don't weld in a weird position, like welding backwards like this, if you don't have to. Get comfortable. Like what I was doing is I'm welding underneath this car a little bit. I got a bucket. Chad told me to get a bucket. I got a 5-gallon bucket upside down to rest my arm on so I can, you know, zap the weld in correctly. That's everything that I know, dude. I am not experienced. I probably have cumulatively like 5 to 6 hours welding total, like of actual just sitting there welding in this thing. And what I'm really getting to is that with welding, especially when you're trying to like patch a car, the least amount of welding that you can do is the best. You want to try to figure out a way to weld the least to get the most strength. That's like more advanced stuff that I don't really understand just yet, but your speed will depend on your material thickness and heat. You don't want to blow through thin metal. Control your heat. Yep. So yeah, there's a lot to learn. Welding is truly a freaking art. I wanted to get into it, dude, because I think it's cool content for the stream. And I think everybody should pick up a trade. Even if you're like a software engineer, pick up a trade. It's always good to diversify your skill set, you know? I learned that the hard way. Yep. Yes, I did. There's plenty of really good resources out there on YouTube on how to do it right. And if you can do it right, you will get paid. You will get paid. Welding is, yeah, if you can do it, you'll make money. Absolutely. So, yeah. Hey, Willard, what's going on? Go farming, learn all the trades. Wounded in another life, dude, I would work on a farm. That's the kind of work I enjoy. Reminder to clean your nozzle before your next welding session. Yep. Yeah, with farming, dude, I mean, Wounded, I've been learning from Clarkson's farm, to be honest with you. There is certain times where you just don't have a choice. That equipment needs to work, and if it doesn't work, you will go bankrupt. So, like, there are times, like if you're in the middle of a harvest and the tractor breaks, tough luck, man, fix it. Fix it, or else you're screwed, or else you lose the farm. You actually lose the farm. Like, you will go bankrupt. Yeah, Clarkson's farm taught me a lot about farming, dude. A lot. It's not just sit there, put the plant in the ground and call it a day. No. You get it's involved. It's a freaking art, just like welding. Always good to learn more trades. Always good to learn how to weld, like learn as much as you can. Plumbing, electricity. Because guys, so interesting thing. I was watching a YouTuber called Smarter Every Day yesterday. Smarter Every Day, episode 308. About manufacturing stuff in the United States. Something very interesting was said to me. Like, there's an interview that Destin does in that video where he's talking to a guy that manufactures stuff, like in the United States. He has like a machine shop where you do all kinds of manufacturing, right? And the guy said, like, look, AI can write code. Right now, AI can write code. Oh, it can write code. It can write code really well, actually. What it can't do is weld something. Maybe in the future it could, right? But that's not happening for a little while, right? Like Optimus can't pick up a MIG welder and fix this frame rail. I mean, it'll let's be real, 5 to 10 years, yeah, it probably could. But not everybody in the future is going to have an Optimus robot. You know what I mean? By the time like the regular guy, you and me, or a regular like small welding company could afford having an Optimus to do the welds for them, that's like 10, 20 years down the road, right? And in that time, still skilled trades, it's gonna be good. I mean, Optimus can't install a toilet. Maybe it could someday, but it ain't doing that anytime soon, which it's a good point. Yeah, can't diagnose a hydraulic problem, right? Maybe someday, maybe. I mean, the possibilities are endless with, machine learning, like on, relative navigation machine learning, right? Like, possibilities are endless. But that ain't happening anytime soon, even with the most optimistic estimates. So, learning trades right now, especially as the older generations that kind of run the trades are retiring, learning a trade right now is a real good idea, real good way to make a lot of money. That's why I'm doing it. That, and I love welding and I love fixing cars. Like, that's first and foremost, that's it. But learning a trade is a really good fallback skill. But can it moonwalk? I don't think many welders can moonwalk. Yeah. So, like I said, always good to know that stuff. Always good to know. Also, like one additional thought before we get to work, knowing how to do stuff and knowing how to be independent is really self-satisfying. Like the other day, Brimo's car needed pads and rotors, right? I know how to do that. You could say that the rotors and the pads were on their way out. Yeah, that's metal. Oh, this has still got a little bit of pad left. That's good. But the rotor was struggling. The rotor's, I don't know, it's scored, warped. See this? See all these lines right there? No good. See the lines? That's bad. So what happens is that this pad went, and it started cutting grooves in the caliper. It made a great noise. It sounded like a metal lathe. That's basically what it was. If I took that to the Ford dealership, dude, that would have cost me $600-700 for them to do the pads and rotors. I went down to the parts store, I bought new pads and rotors. It was like $200, and it took me 15 minutes to do. Jack the car up, take the tires off, 2 bolts for the caliper compressor, take it off, take the rotor off, new rotor back on, new pads back in, compress the caliper back on, 2 more bolts, done. And then put the tire back on with NICs. You're good to go. Took me 15 minutes. Saved me probably $500 to $600. Knowing how to do stuff yourself is really, really, really satisfying, and it saves you money. They weren't squeaking. It didn't go from hellfish. It didn't even. We went right past squeaking and right to grinding. One day we stepped on the brakes and it sounded, like I said, it sounded like a metal lathe going. No, you know what's funny, dude? I went around all the cars and I made sure that I wouldn't need the garage for a little period of time, right? You know, before we put the Coronet in here, and I knew it was going to stay in here for a little while, I made sure that all the cars were in good working order. I guess I didn't look good enough, because right the first day we took the fascia off is when it started happening. And I'm just like, yep, of course. He sounds heated. No, Woozy, I'm all right. I'm all right. I was heated yesterday, dude, because I couldn't think straight, but we're good today. Anyway, never mind. No, dude, I was pissed yesterday. I was pissed because I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I was trying to get it right in my head, and I just couldn't do it. Yeah, it was really annoying. And I got pissy with Chad, which is not something I should do. It does happen from time to time, though, you know. I got so freaking peeved yesterday. It was not great, Bob. Not great, Bob. Dealership would have took an hour and then found a million other problems. Yeah, I mean, like I said, save some cash. Do I need a 65 F100 roller project because I found a cheap 65 F100 roller project? Yes. Anyway, all right. Let's get to work. I mean, Maslin, why are you asking me? You knew what I was going to say. Why are you asking me? Of course I'm going to say yes to that. All right, we got good ventilation going. I'm just going to make sure I'm nice and comfortable. Go take a piss here real quick, and then we go. Okay, waste tanks are evacuated. Let's go.
Discovery,
Hey, Vin.
go and throttle up.
11-month resub, thank you. So, I don't have a welding spoon, but I do have this. We have a brass hammer. So, let's get to it, dudes. I'm going to put the brass hammer and hope I don't light the wood handle on fire. I'm going to put that behind that blow through. And we are going to see if this brass actually does the trick. That hole is fine. It's that one that we have problems with. So, let me get my welding helmet on. Turn the gas on here. We have 1500 PSI at 12 liters a minute. That should be good enough. Turn the welder on, get the welding gloves, and let's fix our mistakes from yesterday. Garage is open, fan is on. Are the calipers okay, outdoorsman? Yeah, calipers are fine. The boots on the calipers were working just fine. Yeah, I checked. I checked everything on the back rotors. Everything's good back there. And then it's interesting because the calipers readjust. You twist them to compress the caliper, and then there's like an electronic motor behind it that will readjust it for you if you put the e-brake on, which is pretty cool. And they say new cars are hard to work on. I tell you, the maintenance on that Ford has not been too bad, to be honest with you, but that's because we take care of it. I'm very careful with that car. What the hell is a welding spoon? Geek, wasn't it you that recommended a welding spoon yesterday, or are you being funny? Are you doing a funny? Wasn't meant for you, EJ, it was for Can't See Me. Oh, okay, cool. Not me. Somebody recommend. Dude, I swear it was you. Whatever. A welding spoon looks like a chisel, but where the chisel part is, there's brass. So you put it behind something and you make a backing plate. Never heard of a welding spoon? Yeah, me neither. I went into Harbor Freight. I'm like, you guys have a welding spoon? The guy was like, what? I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so I got a brass hammer instead. You know, we got a brass hammer behind it, and supposedly it's not going to weld the hammer in. Supposedly the welding bead will just back up. It'll just be guided by the brass. Supposedly. So hopefully we don't weld the hammer into the frame rail right now, because that would suck. But if you look real close, right, the hammer is there. You can see it behind it. If we hold that sucker up to that and try to weld, supposedly it won't bind to the hammer, supposedly. So let's put this theory to the test, huh? Let's get the welder out. Gas is on, welder's on, welding helmet on, we got gloves. No throwing the welding helmet today. Crank up the voltage. You have a heat sink now. Okay. What would you recommend, Techno? I'm at voltage level B. The voltage level goes from A to J. I'm at B right now. We kept it low yesterday. And we are at wire speed 2.5 out of 10. You would say C, okay? All right. Setting weld voltage to C. Answer C, Montana. It's not multiple choice. I would love to have seen Montana. Think like, what's the voltage ABCD? I don't know. I have no idea. Ring off? What do you mean? Oh, the welding, my wedding ring. Yeah, yes it is. Yeah. I never put it back on. It's still in the SE to aux box. The answer is D. Don't touch the boats. Never touch the boats. We know that from large electrical man. What the frick is that? Anon gifted 5 subs. Oh my goodness. Don't gift me subs for being a fool on stream. Well, actually that's kind of the point, isn't it, I guess, huh? Thank you, whoever you are. I appreciate it. All right, let's see. Let's see if the brass does its thing. Okay. So I'm going to try to fill that hole in. You know what? I'm going to wire brush this abomination. This is what I mean about taking your time. This is something I was not doing yesterday. You want to make sure that connection is as clean as possible. Okay, let's go, bros. Let's see what she does. So I'm gonna aim this basically at the corner right there, and I'm gonna try to hit the spot right between the brass hammer and the metal. Holy shnikes, it works. Yeah, that did it. Yeah, it did not weld to the brass hammer. All right. Okay. Nope, didn't weld to it. Dude, oh, that's so clutch, man. See how nice and shiny that is? That's a good weld. Looks like we just got to get another tack a little bit below it. And we go. I got to clean it off. Especially if you're overlapping welds. This is what you guys were telling me yesterday, but my brain didn't put 2 and 2 together because I'm a moron. Sometimes. All the time. Shut up. Be quiet. This is some freaking, yeah, see? Nice and shiny. And it did not bind to the hammer. It scorched it a little bit, but it didn't bind to it. Oh, that's a freaking relief. All right, let's keep going. See if we can fix up front there. There's a little bit of a pinhole right there. Let me clean that up. There we go. All cleaned up. All right, dudes. Sweet. Okay. Good. That works. It works. That definitely does it. The hammer is a great backer. It absolutely makes a difference. I mean, we scorched the hammer a little bit, but you know, we can clean it off. It's fine. China. 2 pound. China. Cool. All right. Well, there we go. Yeah. There we go. Never thought of doing that. Now I know what a welding spoon is. Can you guys swear you've been, whatever. Dude, I wasn't thinking straight out anyway. For all I know, you could have told me to eat a poop sandwich and I would have been like, yeah, you know, like, not that you would say that, right? You want to grind that off so bad? Yep. You know that you were looking in the wrong place for a welding spot, right? You get a copper spoon in kitchenware. Or a brass hammer from Harbor Freight, which is probably cheaper. Tessa, I don't think you guys got Harbor Freight over there. It's cheap Chinese tools, but whatever. I don't know, I paid like 4 or 5 quid for that dang hammer, dude. Paid nothing. Yeah. The backing plate is clutch, dude. The hammer's sick. That's awesome. Oh, that's gonna make this so nice. All right, where else do we need to go at? What I want to do, we basically globuled this whole thing. Like, I just piled tack over tack over tack to try and build this metal surface back up. It's pretty damn built up. We will hit this with the grinding wheel and the flap disc. I just got to be careful about not grinding right through the damn metal. But the metal should be a lot thicker now. It's way thicker. Let me just get the light so I can see in here. Yeah. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm also wondering about over here. What I want to do, dudes, is that waviness right there. I just want to lay a bead on top of it, and I want to see if we blow through, just out of curiosity. Yeah, I want to do that because if we can build up some material here, we won't have to patch this, even though that's a little bit tedious. But yeah, let's keep going. See the waves? That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if that's bent, that's good metal that was bent from the rust that built up right there, or if it's pitted. The backside feels okay, but the front side looks pitted to hell, but it looks bent, not pitted. Like, it is pitted a little bit, but there should be enough material there. Should be. So what I want to do, dudes, is I'm just going to try to lay a bead right across here. And I want to see if we blow through anything, if you guys don't mind. Yeah, I put the light in a position where you can really see what I'm seeing right there. See all the pitting? Now, once again, this is because there was a flat plate of metal right where my fingers are. The flat plate of metal was the flange for the leaf spring perch. You can see where it was. See that? And it looks like when they spot welded it in place, they didn't protect the metal. They didn't do this. They didn't paint it with any primer or anything. So it was bare metal butted up against bare metal. And the thing that sucks about this is that the tire is right there. So the tire would have been shooting road grime and water and all kinds of crap up in here, right? And it looks like it rusted right there. And when rust forms, it expands. Right? When iron oxide forms, it expands and it bends metal. That's exactly what happened right there. At least I think. Straighten out my regards twice since CJ started the Charger project while watching the stream. Thanks, Multiplanetary. Flash Booty, 66-month resub. Thank you.
Going throttle up.
Dudes, over in the YouTube chat, can't see me. Dan, the number 1, number 3 stuff screws with me so hard on that YouTube chat. Like, in YouTube, it shows like who's the number 1 chatter and who's the number 2 chatter. The number 1 and all those markings look like you're tagging me. So it makes chat a lot harder to pick up. Like, I don't know who's talking to me. I have to sit there and look, you know? It's okay, don't worry about it. Keep talking by all means. It's just, yeah, it's screwing with me. I'm like, I don't know who's talking over there. Because the number 1, YouTube has like a thing that highlights like, oh, this is your number 1 chatter. And it looks like at EJSA. It looks like a tag. No, can't see that. I know it's all good. But yeah, I was trying to say that yesterday, but it came out as, why the hell are you telling me to weld pineapples to bacon? That's what I was trying to convey yesterday. I just couldn't do it. Yeah, no, Dan. Just, yeah, if you're talking to me, just at me. Yeah, but the the number 1, number 2 kind of look like the ats to me, like it's highlighted text. So I'm like, who's talking to me? Oh wait, you guys are talking about cars. What a dumb feature. Is that new? Yeah. Now here's the thing. The tag is a different color than the number 1 color, but it's just, you know, when you're a streamer, you don't look at the difference, right? It's like you don't look at the difference. I just see the highlighted message. I'm like, oh, someone's talking to me, you know? Yeah, the at thing will definitely help me, dude. But, you know, I'm looking for EJ as well. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm getting used to it. It's just a pain in the butt to get used to. I wish I could shut it off. But I haven't, I mean, you probably can. I haven't bothered to look because I'm busy welding. All right, here we go. Let's try to build the material there. Let's see if it's bent metal. I do not want a backing plate here because if I did a backing plate, that would be nice. But at least for our first attempt, I don't want a backing plate. I want to see if we blow through right here. Because once again, where this wave and where all this pitting is where my rear suspension perch is going to attach to that frame. This needs to be strong. This should look like this, but it doesn't. Right? So we got to make sure that that metal, there's material there that we can weld to when we go to mount the leaf spring, because if there's not, we're going to have a bad day. We'll be driving down the road, it'll snap right off. All right, so we got our good lighting. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to make a pool right in the center. Let's see what it does. Ready? Oh, thank God. It's good metal. It's just bent. That would have blown through. I just put the welder on cruise control and held it in one spot. If we had bad metal, we would have blown right through that. We got good penetration on the other side too. Good. Good, 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 good. So that tells me that that's just bent. It's not actually broken. It's just pitted a little bit, which is great. Huge relief. So now where do we go from here, dudes? Do we build up material or do we try to bend this back? I tried bending it back yesterday, but I was kind of doing it haphazardly. Trying to bend the metal straight is going to be a little bit difficult. What do you guys think should be my plan of attack? I need this surface to look like this. It needs to be smooth, because if there's a cavity in there, right? If there's like a little pocket between where the leaf spring goes up, right? If there is a pocket in there, water will find its way in there and it'll rust it from the inside out even more, just like what it was doing. We have to be sure. It has to be right. We have to make sure that this is nice and flat. So what would you guys recommend? Should I try to bang it into place, or should we just build up enough material and grind it flat? Does it have to be straight, or can the perch just go over it? Geek, I mean, as long as where the holes are, you see the hole that's on the top and the bottom of the tack, where that tack weld is? As long as those are flat, it should be okay, but I don't want water getting in there between the flaps of metal, right? I don't recall seeing the number thing on the NSF streams. Maybe KMR can help you get rid of it. Yeah, I'll look. Build it up, don't forget to clean it. Okay. Bending it would make it weaker, so filling it is a better long-term solution. All right. Okay. I can do that, dudes. That seems to be the general consensus. Let's get it done. I mean, getting that to hammer back into position is going to really suck. I tried to do it yesterday. It didn't really end well. I mean, but then again, nothing really ended well yesterday either. See, it's so much nicer, and the stream is so much more fun when I can actually think straight. Dude, I don't know what the hell that was yesterday. That was scary, dude. I literally, like, I don't know, dude. Like, my brain was working. I just couldn't say what I was trying to say. Like, almost like hung over. Like, you know when you're hungover, you're like, I don't want this potato, right? Like, it's kind of like that, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. If you blow through, use the brass hammer. Well, I don't think we will. I think the metal is just bent. It's not, it's not gone, you know? So I'm gonna start here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run beads back and forth. I'm gonna just layer a bunch of beads in there. Then when I go to grind it flat, right? Yeah, we'll basically Bondo, but with welds. Okay, you guys ready? I'm just getting the screen so I can see what you guys see. Ready? We blew through. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. That's what I'm talking about. That is a problem. That would not have held. Do you see what I mean? I started to run the bead and everything looked good, and it blew through and the bead fell into one of my drilled holes. That's what I'm talking about. That's no good. Yeah, see, trying to weld anything to that would have ended very poorly. That's why I did this. Get the hammer. Yep. Hammer's in. I don't know if it can make it all the way down to there though. Oh yeah, it can. Hang on. And that's what I was worried about, dude. And yeah, you could see I went and it blew through to this drilled hole that I had, right? And the pool fell into the hole. All right, we'll have to put the hammer in, the brass hammer. Put it in back right there. It can't fit because the pool is there. I'm gonna try to get it as close as I can. It's there, but it's not like completely flush up against the frame. All right. Let's try again. I'll have to re-drill that hole, but that's no problem. Ready? That's the noise you want right there, man. That sizzly bacon noise. Oh yeah, Jack would love that sizzly bacon, baby. I still got to build up a little bit over there, dudes. And I pulled away too quickly. See how I have a lot of extra wire? I pulled away too fast. No good. We got to get better. We have to get better. Don't weld the hammer. The hammer's made out of brass, dude. It's not going to weld to it. It'll just stain it. Path of least resistance, homie. Yeah, I figured that out today. It won't weld to it. It'll just make a mark. So it's good for a backing plate if you don't need a backing plate here. Ready? There we go. Nice. See? It won't weld to it. It'll just make marks. it won't weld to the brass, which is super cool. I didn't know that until today, actually. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to run another bead across the front of this thing. Yeah. Here. The gun is kind of dirty. Let me just clean that out. Make sure that's nice and clean. Cool. Oh, the poor camera. You guys want me to move it? I'll move it away. I have a protection plan on this camera, so I'm not too worried about putting it in the line of fire. It might be shooting some sparks at it, and the lens looks like it's been watching rocket launches. It looks like a pad remote camera. Welding is so cool. I love it, Sizzler. I want to get to the point, dude, where we can build the crazy stuff that we were building in KSP, like all the trucks and stuff. I want to build stuff like that in real life, and then build rockets in real life, dude. That's the plan. That's what I want to do. Looks like I got to just do a little zap in between those beads right there. See, that pool is great. See that? That's real good. You want the pool to spread out, and that's why you do the C's. That's why you go back and forth. You know, when you do this, you kind of, this is over exaggerated, but you go down and around and down and around and down and around like that. And then, you know, every time you go back up, right, push the thing a little bit. So you'd go, once again, these are over exaggerated, but you pull, you go down, push, and then pull it back, and then move the gun forward a little bit, and then pull it when you're coming back. So like on the downstroke, you push a little bit, well, but you got to do it while you're moving. So you have to kind of do, and that's why the welding gun is twisted. That's why it's tilted, so you have good control. What I do is I put my fingers on here, right? And I use my left hand as the guide, right? And then I use my right hand is pulling, and then I twist with my right hand to move this thing back and forth as we go. And my left hand is the guide. That's how I do this. It's probably not the exact right way to get this done, but it's all right. All right, let me just zap a little bit in there. And then always hold the gun there when you're done. Hold it there for a second. We're still gonna have to re-drill that, and that's gonna suck, but it looks like I need to run a little bead on the side there. I really caked it on there. That wasn't that great. It looks like I blew through down the bottom there. You see that? But see, still not welding to the hammer. It's just leaving char marks. I'm just gonna do a little bit of attack in these little crevasses over here into a 10,000 foot crevasse. Yeah, see how it pulled? Very nice. Very, very nice. Very good. That's what we're looking for. I just got to get better at drawing it in a straight line, dudes. Uh-oh, EJ's learning how to weld. Happy learned how to putt. Uh-oh. Much, much, much better than yesterday. Yeah, you're telling me, man. I don't know what was wrong with me yesterday, dude. Happy learned how to putt. Uh-oh. Somebody's closer. Some days you just need to walk away before you break something. I broke something yesterday. Should have walked away. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Got to know when to walk away. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's build another one across here. Hopefully it doesn't look completely poo-poo, like you-do caca poo-poo, like that. Pee-pee! All right. Blew through. Where's the hammer? Oh, it wasn't right. It wasn't in the right spot. But that's exactly what I'm talking about, dude. I had a feeling that even though that metal looked good, the pitting, see that? That's no good. This is why a regular fabricator, somebody that knows exactly what they're doing, would have just cut this metal out instead of just adding to it like we are. We should patch it. We should patch it. I might be able to zip the grinding wheel. Might be able to zip the cutter right there. Depends if that material up there is good. But we got good metal right there, which is nice. It's just, yeah. I think I can build it. The hammer was not necessarily in the right spot. The problem is that the edge of the hammer is tapered. See, it's not completely flat. So when I get it in there, I got to twist it so the edge is up against it. And it wasn't really twisted in the right spot. And that's precisely why we're blowing through. Like, you can't really see it right there. Yeah, all right. I'll try to rebuild it. We'll just go. We're already here. You'll know when you blow through because the sound changes. It makes that noise. Like it sounds like somebody farting into a cup. It'll go from sizzling bacon to farty bacon. We don't want that. We don't want farty bacon. No one wants that. Oh, gotta clean it. Hold on. I had to really stack it there. I globbed that on purpose. Because look, wherever we glob, it just blows through. We have to get to good metal here. We have to. So, once again, I know this is an unorthodox way of doing this. The right move would have been to just cut this plate out. And you know what, dudes? The more we do this, the more I think we should just do that. It'll be a lot easier. Yeah, lopsided, you patch it at this point. Good practice, though. Yeah. I mean, I'm welding at a terrible angle, dude. Like, I'm welding like 150 degrees. If 180 degrees would be like parallel to the frame rail, I'm like 150 degrees. I'm welding at a really weird angle because the car is in the way. That's been the other part about welding over here. It's really difficult to weld from this side because there's a quarter panel in the way. It's like right behind the camera. So, yeah, it ain't my best work. But yeah, see how we're just blowing through? That's no good, man. But see, let's think about this. Think about our options. So I cut a piece out. We replaced this area right here. Not a big deal, right? We could cut that out. We could drill new holes. We're going to have to anyway, right? And it'll take the waviness out of this thing, which is good. I don't want to cut the top tab, though. The top tab is good. Top tab is fine, and the top tab will help us locate where this dang thing's supposed to go. So I don't want to do that. But here's the flip side of this. We could patch this, that's fine, right? And then we could put the leaf spring up onto it, but I'd prefer to have a plate that's a lot wider for doing that. I'd want a plate that's really wide. And I don't know what that hole does. I don't care. It's something from the factory. We could re-drill it if people like, oh, you know, my realism. But I'm thinking cut like all the way to good metal. Like go from the other side of this hole to where I patched over here. I know that's good metal. This is part of my patch. Like that's the corner of the patch piece. So I'm thinking cut down that seam, cut this way, cut all the way over there, because you know that's good metal. It's not pitted. See how it's nice and flat and consistent? And then over here you have nice flat consistency as well. We just got to be careful. There's a spot weld right there, and there's a spot weld right there for the interior frame rail bracing. Yeah, that's the other thing we got to watch out for. The brace piece is right here. You can see the spot weld. It's right there, and the other spot weld is right there in that little indentation. That's a solid plan. Have you tried the newer snap-on ratchets with like 80 teeth? They're smooth and they can ratchet in very small places. No, Dan, I haven't. Yeah, Joe, yeah, everybody says patch it, dude. I tried to save it, you know, by building up material. We just keep blowing through. I mean, we could just keep going back and forth. We're just going to blow through further and further. I mean, we might be able to get to the good stuff. But even then, like, grind it down. There's no guarantee that it's going to be flush. I'm committed. Let's get the cutting wheel. I've decided if we screw it up, well, can't be any worse than it is. I mean, I don't trust welding to that thing right now because you're going to do exactly what I just did. You're going to blow through. So I'm taking the flap disc off the welder, and I'm putting the cutting wheel in. What I'm going to try to do, well, we got to be careful because once again, there's a frame rail reinforcement piece right here. That's the reinforcement piece for the front flange right there. See that? And the metal that's backing that doesn't look bad. It's just a little pitted around that spot because somebody went in here with the spot weld on the line and went right there, and then they somehow pinched it down here. I don't know how they would do that, but they probably, if I had to guess, they probably spot welded both sides with like something like that. Probably the same spot welder that put the leaf spring perch in, if I had to guess. Maybe just a small piece right here. If we can get in front, we get in front of that leaf spring, we get in front of the frame rail reinforcement, right? And just patch where the leaf spring needs to be. I think we'll be all right. Yeah, because this seems good. That metal seems okay down here. It's not pitted. It's pitted right there because that's where the spot weld is. The spot weld is right there and right there. You can see the indentations. It's just this part right here. Oh man, it's gonna be tough getting in there with that cutting wheel. I don't know, dudes. This is just a tough spot. I already am having trouble welding here. So like when I try to do a vertical seam weld here and a horizontal seam weld there and then another one up there, the welds aren't going to come out very good. It might, maybe I should just build the material back up. I don't know, man. Maybe we should just keep going and go do it for the practice. I like getting the practice. This is a perfect job for a plasma cutter. Is that crack in the primer? Mostly. There's no cracks there. Hey, have you noticed that cracked metal? Where is the crack? Can't see me relative to this camera. Both options are not perfect, yeah. North of that middle weld. That's the seam from the patch panel. That's just my poor welding capability. You're talking about right there? That's not a crack. This is not a crack. That is just me not really being able to get the grinding wheel up in there. This is the seam where the patch panel went. The seam, and then the seam went horizontal. I didn't cut this bottom part out because that part is still good metal. There was just a little bit of pitting in between, and that's why I built up a lot of metal here. So, I don't know, guys. The right thing to do would be to put a patch in. What I'm going to do is I'll just keep building up material with the welder. The reason why I'm doing that is to get practice with the welder. That's why I'm doing it. This is, once again, just like last time, it's not the right way to do this. The right way would be to just cut this whole section out and replace it, and then seam it in. That's the right way. We understand the right way. We know the right way. But even if I did that, and I could, the welds would look like crap. We do need more practice on the welder. So I will build up more material. I changed my mind. That's the way we're going to do it. I still have the cutting wheel as an option, and we have plenty of steel to patch it if I screw it up. Which I probably will, but that's fine. It's okay. Let's get back to doing what we're doing. We still have the brass hammer behind this piece. To back us up. All right, I'm gonna weld more pool here. Ready? Looks like I got it. Looks like I didn't got it. Oh, yeah, see what I mean? Oh boy. That's not great, Bob. Not great, Bob. I got the hammer horizontally here. the hammer is like this. I don't know if you guys can see, that's the handle right there. So the T part of the hammer is going vertical now, so we should have something to back. Yeah, there's a lot of rust behind that. All right, let's keep going. That's the noise you don't want to hear. There's so much rust in there. Behind this piece, there's rust between the frame rail wall and the bracer. And we just blew through it. We blew through the rust. That's what happened. I'll see if I can clear out some of it on the backside. All right, we'll just cap that pool off. Ready? There we go. Well, I blew through the rust and we welded back to it. Now it's not going anywhere. I just kind of caked it on there like real bad. Now it's not going anywhere. Where's my dang old wire brush? All right. Now let's go across the top again. Here we go. I had a pretty gnarly blow through about halfway through. That's okay, but I pulled, see, you could see where it gets skinny, I pulled it too much. We pulled it too far. That's all right, that's all right. Really think you should try turning up the power and only do 1 to 2 second welds? Well, we turned it up since yesterday, Ananis. You want me? It's on. So on my welder, I have A through J for the voltage amperage, right? We're on C right now. 16 gauge steel, which is what this frame rail was before it decided to be 56 years old, recommends D. Do you have a chipping hammer? I don't have a chipping hammer, I have a regular hammer. Okay, I'll turn it up to level D. Once again, the highest one is J. On the voltage goes from A to J. We're on D right now. Feed speed is set at 3. Level D's. I want to commend you on keeping your cool so far. Thanks, Dean. I don't deserve that praise, especially after yesterday, but I appreciate it. The plate can't handle all the heat from those 5-second welds. So, wait, what are you telling me to do? Why would you tell, okay, Ananis, this isn't like me second guessing you, this is an honest question. Why? Why turn up the heat then? Why would we turn up the heat if the plate can't handle it? Deeper penetration. Yeah, I understand that, but aren't we worried about blowing through? Oh, thanks, Dean. Appreciate it. Wider welds, because it looks like the wire isn't melting properly. Keep in mind, I can't really it's hard for me to keep my hands steady. But, Dean, I especially deserve it because of yesterday being able to change the attitude. Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah. Too long with the extra heat, use quicker bursts. All right, so I turned the voltage up, so I'm not going to try to weld as long of a... I'll try not to weld. You said 1 to 2 seconds. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. We'll get it right. So let me hit this with the brush. So I'll, that little pinhole right there, we'll try to zap that up. 1 to 2 seconds, huh? Okay, here we go. Ready? 0, 1, 2. Okay. Yeah, looked good. The welder definitely had some spice that time, that's for sure. All right, let me clean it up. It left a lot of spatter, dude, but yeah, that looked okay. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's definitely stronger than it was. Okay, I'll try to run 1 to 2 seconds with a bead going that way. That looks good, Ananas. Thank you for the tip. This is what you were trying to tell me yesterday, and I just couldn't get it right in my head. Okay, ready? So, fun fact, that's not a drilled hole. It looks like a drilled hole. It made a perfect concentric circle, but that was a gigantic frigging blow through right there. I tried to wait for the pool to go and it didn't go. That looks like a drilled hole. Can you believe that? Jeez. Well, then 1 second weld. See, this is what I didn't understand by turning up the power, dude. It's all right. I'll rebuild it. I'm way more patient today than I was yesterday. Should I turn that voltage back down, or? I'm guessing it's garbage metal. Yeah, it is. I thought it might have been okay, but it's not. I'm trying to build up material on it, dudes, because it's just this little particular spot, and the right way to do it would be to patch it, but that's just a weird spot to get in with the cutter. So I might be just making bullcrap excuses, but I just, I was like, okay, let's just build up the material and go. Try to stay on this power and try to start with shorter weld time. Okay. Okay. I can't get a grip with the pool. There we go. I kind of got it. Way too much time, but I kind of got it. I kind of filled it. It was close. But yeah, that was really tough to get that right. All right, let's keep going. I got something to build to, Ananas. We can go now. There we go. I got something to build up to. We found good metal over there. It's still blowing through the crappy parts, but that's okay. I'll blow through the crappy parts and we'll replace it with good metal. Just making sure the hammer can still move back there. That's what that noise is. All right, wire brush it. Let me try to fill that up. That was a little longer than what you prescribed, but I got the pool going and I kind of exercised some amateur judgment there. But look, see the difference? Ananas was right. Look at the difference in the weld. See up there? See how consistent that is versus down here? I mean, I did blow through, but it's really nice bead. That's what I'm after. You see how the pool is nice and spread? This is what we want, and this is why I wanted this practice instead of just patching it. Now I did blow through basically all around that, but that is nice. That's what a weld should look like, that top row. Get all the schmutz off there. 1 second, EJ, that was 3 to 4. Yeah, no, Ananas, I know I went a little bit longer, but I did that on purpose because I saw the pool. I don't know if you guys can see it too well on the camera, but I saw the pool going and I kind of rode with it. I'd prefer to just blow out the metal and replace it with bead and stack beads on beads on beads on beads and then just grind it down so it's flush. Think like relativity space, dude. If we're gonna blow through it, whatever, replace it with weld. Replace the damn thing with weld. The pool looks better, but I think you're blowing through because you keep going too long, the metal just burns away. All right, I'll do what you said. We're gonna hit right up on the top there, okay? Let me just angle the camera up so you guys can see a little better. We're going right up here. Ready? That still blew through, dude. It still blew, like even 1 to 2 seconds. There's no metal there. There's nothing. There's no good stuff there. Dude, even a little spot, 1 to 2 seconds. Yeah, man, this is what I mean. Like, that's why I was like, you said turn up the voltage. I'm like, are you sure? But then again, like, guys, you know, yesterday this probably would have pissed me off, but the honest to God truth is that if I just, Ananas, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do what I did there. I'm just going to go across with a bead, and I'll stack bead on top of bead on top of bead. I don't care if I'm blowing through the metal. We'll find good metal up here eventually. There is good stuff up here that's not pitted, all right? I'll find it eventually, and I'd rather replace the crappy pitted metal with welding bead and then smooth it flat. That way, at least I know it's going to be nice and strong. That's what I did with the frame rails. I basically additively manufactured new frame rail with the welder. I mean, I know people don't do this way. The reason why people don't do this way is because it's time consuming, but I need the practice, so that's why I'm doing it. Is the hammer still behind where you're working? Yeah, the hammer is right where my finger is. And then the frame rail reinforcement plate is right here. So the hammer is there, plate is there. So yeah, we're all right. I'll try to do it less, dude. Here, let me wire brush this. Ready? And away we go. Crap, I lost it at the end there. I lost it at the end. I turned it too much and we blew right through. But that's okay. Once again, I'm telling you, that is what I want. Let's keep doing that. I'd prefer to replace this crappy metal. Once again, I know this isn't the right way. We're doing the right thing the wrong way, okay? We are replacing the metal, because this metal did need to be replaced, but the way we're replacing it is a little weird. And I'll freaking do it again. I'll freaking do it again. Yep, we can do it again. But murder. Yeah, I'll do it again.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Didn't get a good connection. The only thing you can do is use smaller gauge welding wire, which is not good. Nah, James, yeah. Once again, I think we've passed the point of knowing whether this was the right or the wrong way to make this work. This is a way to do it. It's not the right way. You used the wrong formula, but somehow got the right answer. Right answer. That's good, except for the very end. The very end kind of sucks. All right, let's go across the top again. At least we know that this is going to be super satisfying when we grind this down with the grinding wheel. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Yeah, and Ennis, I saw the pool form, dude, so I just started going, you know, like, yeah, I saw the pool do its thing, so I was like, all right, let's send it. Let's go. I mean, we're blowing through, but it's getting a good pool. So, ready? Well, what happened there? What's that hole in the center about? What is that? What did I do? That's crap boiling out of the puddle. Rust. Yeah, okay. It'll get ground down anyway. Okay, one more bead up top, and then we pretty much get back to non-pitted metal up there. I mean, it's still a little pitted, but it's not too bad. So I'll lay one more bead, and yeah, then we'll get the grinding wheel out. ARJ, Tier 1 6 months in advance. Thanks, man. It's good to see you. Sorry about yesterday, dude. I was not Not good. Just not in the right frame of mind, man. I think Bree and I got sick over the weekend. But I slept it off, whatever it was. But it's good to see you. Thank you for the resub. It was said earlier, but don't lay weld next to each other. Overlap them. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. I tried to, down here I was laying them next to each other, and then I realized up here I should probably overlap them. I was actually going to ask about it, but I just did it. Thank you. Yeah. It's porosity, Dean. Yeah, okay. I got you. I mean, once again, we'll grind it down and zap it up if there's imperfections. Sick of the in-laws? No. The in-laws, no. That's not what's going on. Look at me. I am the 3D printer now. Looks like you're doing better. Keep going. Yeah. Graham, I'm getting there. Dude. I was just not in a good mood yesterday. All right. Ready? So when I'm going down here, I'm trying to overlap. I blew through right at the top. There's just a little bit of poopy doopy metal there. But see, I'm moving my vertical movement. So going back and forth this way, I'm making it a little bit wider than I did previously. And, we're getting there. It's not too bad. This weld down here kind of sucks, but that was my first try. But you could see the progression. It gets better and better over time. You can see the progress. The progress has been visualized. Like between getting the voltage right and everything. I think that's kind of funny. I'm a 4D printer. Are you doing a sideways Z pattern? I'm kind of going back, down, up, over, back, down, like kind of C's almost. Like kind of just going back and forth like that as I pull. That's kind of Z's, Dean, but it's not exactly. I'm just trying to spread the pool out by going back and forth as I pull. Actually it is kind of like just a zigzaggy line. I think the rust on the backside is getting pulled into the weld when it pens. Yeah. There's not much on the backside though, dude. That's the thing. Yeah, there's just a smidge. It's not too bad. It could be the rust converter that I coated it with too. Like if it's flashing black, then we know. At least we know we've been getting through. The brass hammer is kind of struggling there. But it is helping us. It's giving me a good backing plate. I can't believe that works, dude. That's actually super cool. Okay, let's just get that little top bit. Ready? Oh, I gotta wire wheel it. Hold on. Or not wire wheel. We gotta. We got to good metal. We got to the good metal. I could just tell by the sound it was making. It didn't blow through at all. We got to the good stuff. Those welds are a little contaminated, but... And the stupid frickin' thing went through the dang hole. But now we know when we flap this thing down, we fill it, if we just tack in, fill in any holes, that is good metal to plate up against. We found good metal over here. We found good metal over here. We just basically patched through the entire, that entire pitted area. We just basically replaced it, which is kind of cool. Like I said, additive manufacturing. You know, like I said, I think this way is super cool. I like doing this way. And if I ever get good at laying beads, right, this is a cool way to do this. That doesn't involve a lot of fabrication. It's just how good you can draw. And I did go to art school, so, you know. I kind of want to just go through that little Grand Canyon ridge right there where I didn't overlap the welds. I'm going to go through there and just build it up. Ready? Nice. How's that, dudes? How's that one? How about now? That's pretty good, man. I'm gonna do one right on top of that, dude. Just layer weld on top of weld. I gotta build up that material there. Channeling more squirrel there. How about now? Clean structural steel will be a breeze now. Yep. I'll give that last one a 5.75. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take that. Let's put one right above it. Ready? We got to channel LS George. Buenos dias! Yeah, I bunched it up a little bit. We bunched up in the center. Definitely better. All right, I'm just gonna run a little bit of material in this area here because I think that's good metal, but building up materials not gonna make anything worse there. I just think we need to. Can you guys see the bead with that camera? I probably should have asked this a little while ago. That's a solid looking bead. Thank you. I have a Craftsman drill that's about 25 years old. Upgraded to lithium batteries. It's stronger than your old corded drills. Hell yeah, man. Should get a welding filter for your camera. Yeah, but that's not fun. Can you see the bead, or does it just blow out the camera? Does the exposure adjust? That's what I'm trying to ask. Hey, Impulse, yeah, way better than yesterday, thank you. You can see the bead. The welding pool cannot be seen. Okay. All right. Well, let me think here. What could we do? The EM really screws with the camera. There's a lot of electromagnetic interference. Okay, cool. Give me 1 second. Stick close. Don't you have a face shield around that you don't use? Yeah, it's a Harbor Freight one, and I have no idea where it is. I will look around for it. Give me 1 second. I saw it when I cleaned the garage a couple months ago. I don't know if the sensor works on that thing though, Hellfish. I don't know if the sensor is working. You know what I mean? It doesn't darken, I don't think. The eclipse glasses is the other thing I was looking for, dudes. I have no idea where they ended up. They might be in the office. So here, let me check. Let me check real quick. Let's see if they're on the. Put them on the table somewhere. The eclipse glasses are a good idea. I think that's more UV filter. Hopefully they don't get hit with spatter and melt. Yeah, the camera definitely took a welding spark to the lens. The lens is chipped. Like there's a little bit of imperfection in it, but it doesn't seem to be hurting it too much. That's what I liked about the video camera. We could zoom in and you could see the stuff up close. Let me go into the office. I'll see if I can find, well, you know what? Maybe we should try to find the welding mask first. Where would I have put the second welding mask? Where would that have gone? I would have put it in a place where I wouldn't be going to often because I know I wouldn't be using it. I'd be using the helmet that I have on. Turbo. The turbocharger is working today, so that's how you know it's a good day. A modern day warrior, his name's Tom Sawyer. Floated down the river on a boat with a weird guy. I think those are the lyrics. Probably not. Doesn't matter. Of course, it's nowhere to be found. Why wouldn't it be? That means I put it in a box somewhere. You actually have a good friend whose name is Tom Sawyer? Nice. Is he a modern day warrior? Did he float down a river? Oh, dude, I found it. Nice. It was in a box, just like I said. How? Okay, hold on. Hold up. Well, the adjuster is broken. That's been broken off. It's not the noise you really want to hear. No, I know this one is not working, guys. This helmet is on its way out. Okay. I got the switch. Okay, I got the switch off. I'm going to take my helmet off. All right, let's see here. I'll tilt this camera down so you guys can see. All right, how are we going to get this thing off? Because what I'm after is this. I'm after this piece. I think it's glued. It should pop out. Yeah. Okay, wounded, I think I see how this works. Hold on. Screwdriver. Wanna hand me that wrench, Jimbo? Not a bigger one, sledge. There's two retaining pieces here and here on either side. Hey Ollie, what's going on, man? I'm trying to get you guys a lens. Here, hold up. There we go. Got it. I got it. I freaking got it. Sweet. Put this back in the box. Yeah. All right. Now, well, the adjustment is kind of screwed because one of the wires is undone. Now, how do we mount this, though? Duct tape. You want me to duct tape this to my camera? Okay. Welded. It's plastic? Question? Get this piece off here. Well, the plastic, it melts. So one of the wires for the adjustment is not making a circuit. I don't know if this thing's going to work, but the lens might be enough, dudes. The lens might be enough to make it do. JB Weld. Okay. If she doesn't find you handsome, she at least finds you handy. It's good working with your hands, remember that. He's hating us again, isn't he? No, I'm thinking. No, I'm good. I'm all right. I think. Am I all right? You guys tell me. Hang on. I have a screw index here, and I'm trying to get it. You know what? I'll just tape it. It's fine. I'm just trying to get the adjuster in place because I don't want this thing to fall off. Who suggested using the visor and sensor today for the camera? Well, it was kind of just me out of curiosity. I asked Chad, Ollie, like, can you guys see it? I assumed you guys could you could see the, I assumed you guys could see the pool, judging by how the good advice that I was getting, but you can't. So that means you guys have been giving me advice and you can't see what I'm doing, which is pretty impressive on some of you guys' part. Now, how do we mount this on the camera? What I really need to do is get this to be like, oh, it adjusted. Oh, that's cool. Neato. Green. That's what I see. That's what I see before the welding mask. Like when you have the welding mask on, everything is green. Dude, I can tape that for now. I'll find a more permanent solution later. I'll just use some painter's tape and hope the spatter doesn't get at the painter's tape. And the good thing is that this will also protect the lens. You guys are now green. It's green. It's green. It's our green. It's Walgreens. That thing is superbly freaking hot, the hammer. Okay. There. I don't know if the shield is going to work. It might turn on. I mean, it's solar powered, so it might do it, but I don't know. You guys tell me. The HDMI isn't happy. Check the cable. How about now? How about now? Yeah, that's what I see with the thingy. Leave it, it's fine. All right, dudes. So I'll just run a bead in that bottom right. And let me put the welding gloves back on and yeah. Let's see, you guys tell me. I mean, if it's working right, the screen should go black. If it's working correctly, if the shield is on and it works right, everything should go blank and you should only be able to see the pool. That's it. It looks like the Matrix. Yep. Or we're in Mexico in Breaking Bad. All right, ready? Here we go. I'm gonna lay a bead down here because I just think I need to put more material there and I'm kind of probing around for bad metal. So, ready? Here we go. You guys tell me what you see. I did find some bad metal. It works? Yes! Yes, it works! Awesome! I see the light? Am I dead? No, you're good, you're good, you're good. You're good, you're good, technique, you're good. Need a tiny bit more heat? You think so? I blew through again over there. We did find some bad metal. But, I mean, can't see what's happening in the arc, but we can see some detail about a quarter of an inch or so behind it while the bead is still glowing. All right, maybe the adjuster on this thing still works. It didn't have a wire hooked up completely, guys, but I'll move the adjustment. No, ow! You know, that's really hot. You shouldn't put your hand on it. Nah, that's my light losing batteries. Don't worry about that. Here. All right, I adjusted it a little bit. When this light blinks on and off, dudes, that means we're running out of juice, Captain. I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. If I give her any more, the whole thing will blow. I took an old welding mask flykin. I ripped the UV filter out of it, and I duct taped it to the, well, painter's taped it to the front of the camera. So, yes, we did. All right, I got to build up some right here, and we got to build up some right there. So this is with the adjustment. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to fill this pool in. Ready? My eyes? Not good? No good? Yeah, mostly the arc. All right, I'll adjust it back the other way. It looks like the adjuster is working. Okay, it's about halfway between the first weld and what you just saw. We'll meet you in the middle. Okay, I gotta fill in that atrocity over here where we blew through a little bit. Ready? Yeah, Dean, this is a good call. That seemed better. Cool. You could see everything but the pool. All right. It is, however, much better. All right, sweet. We'll just roll with this for now, and once again, guys, I think it might be placebo. There's one of the wires to the adjuster isn't hooked up, so I think, yeah, might just be placebo where, you know, that, oh, it's better this time. Well, you don't know. Dude, it's just a giant globule mess. Oh, okay. I'll run one just down the bottom here over that tack weld and keep going. Ready? Okay, I'm gonna run one down the bottom. We'll try to overlap it. Ready? So, I'm gonna send it. Okay, I've started moving. Making sure I overlap over the weld every back and forth that I do. Okay. I kind of messed up right there, but yeah, that one wasn't good. I'm not happy with that. That wasn't consistent. But we didn't blow through anything, which means we found good metal. I'll fill in just a little bit right there between those two cracks. That looked good. Just be glad you're not trying to do this with a stick welder. No, I don't. Stick welding is unknowns to me. Okay, ready? Okay, we have the pulling it. Blew through a little bit. Yep, we found more bad metal. But I did fill that, and I filled it in. Guys, I'm gonna grind this all smooth. I'm really deliberately adding a ton of material here on purpose. Okay, I'm just gonna try to rosette that little area right there. Just fill it in real quick. Ready? My hand slipped. Damn it. My hand slipped. I blew right through. Frick. Oh man, I screwed that up. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yesterday, it would have pissed off EJ yesterday, but no. We'll get it right. Just gotta add more material. It's fine. Yeah, a little bit of blow through. We picked up some rust. Yeah, there's some rust behind there where the frame rail reinforcement piece is. But good news is that we're blowing out the rust and replacing it. I'm just gonna try to zap that in. We don't want to, Hellfish, you're right, we don't want to put too much more heat into this.
Hello everybody, Rockside chat time. I was a little bit
There we go, cleaned it up.
I'm about 30 seconds late because I was too busy trying to find something to be amusing on screen, the breaking news stinger, but I can't move it across to the OBS, so never mind. We're not going to have
Nice.
a problem today with me playing with the breaking news stinger left, right and centre, because that would be very annoying, but I just like to do it, but never mind. Rockside chat.
Okay.
Starbase.
You guys ready to grind this smooth?
The world's biggest rocket. Let's talk about it, shall we? Who we got on with it?
I think we filled in. There was an indent right here where rust, because this is where the leaf spring. So for the people that don't know, what was going on here is there was a wave in the frame rail right there.
Hey guys,
Okay? There's a big wave. There's a big indent. The reason why is the leaf spring, and I'm not touching that because that's extremely hot. The leaf spring flange was right here for the leaf spring perch, right? It was right there. And when they spot welded it in right there and right there, it was unprotected metal. So the tire is going to shoot road grime up here because the tire is we're right behind it right now. So it's going to shoot road grime up in here, and that road grime and water is going to got stuck between the two flanges because it wasn't protected metal. They didn't paint it or anything, right? They just put the metal up against it, spot welded it, called it a day.
Yes, the burden
Right.
of proof is on you, Ryan.
So what happened is that rust happened in there, and the iron oxide expanded, and it bent the frame rail
We
in.
need one of you.
Just in this area, there was a big indent where the leaf spring flange was. So
Right, so you know
this is a hard spot to get to, and I did need practice with the damn welder. So I just filled in the indent, and we ended up blowing through a lot of bad metal, which is fine. I'd rather it be replaced with welding bead, to be honest with you, because it's way stronger. And yeah,
So that's the way to do it.
I just filled in the indent. I need this flat, so when I put my new leaf spring perch on there, it butts up against it correctly.
I'm not even joking.
If it doesn't, we're gonna have a bad time.
This has happened. Mr. One Wolf has gifted 5 team memberships.
Oh, Raptor Side is going? Oh, of course. Right when I go to explain something, they put Raptor Side on. Oh, no. I got it. I got it. I got it. I have Starbase Live going in the background, dudes. All right. That's NASA Spaceflight. That's the company that I work for on the weekends and stuff. So that's NSF. They're doing their Starbase Live. Like if you're coming in from IRL or coming in on YouTube, we do a lot of work on cars, but I'm a spaceflight nutcase. I love spaceflight. So I work for a company, another YouTube channel called NASA Spaceflight, and I do commentary over there for them on what's going on in the space program. You want to know how a rocket engine works? I got you. You want to know how they welded that rocket engine together? I don't got you. You know, but I'm learning. Oh. Now, Starbase Live. When are we going to stir weld it? I don't think you can stir weld 16 gauge steel. Stir welding works with aluminum because aluminum melts at a really low temperature. I can't, dude, a steel stir welder, you know how much pressure you'd need to put on a steel stir welder? That would be ridiculous. I'm sure it exists, but I wouldn't use that for rockets. It's much too heavy. Now with that attitude, you can't. You can probably stir weld with your drill press, but probably not steel. Now, Long March 5. Yeah, man. Oh, dude, I need to rest up. Dude, green! Look, we're in the Matrix. That was a good idea. Good call, guys. Learn all kinds of good stuff in here. That's a good idea. It was cool. Stir welding is capable of joining aluminum alloys, copper alloys, titanium alloys, mild steel, stainless, and magnesium. So yeah, it can be done. You've welded carbide to steel before through friction. Whoops. Hey, look, a green screen. Well, yeah, that's what it is. See? All right. So I'm going to explain Long March 5 or whatever. I get the Bush Jr. part, but not the Long March. So what that was, it was during a flame trench a couple weeks ago, Pogo. Actually, it was like a month and a half ago at this point. And Alex was talking about Long March 5, and something he said didn't click right in my head, so I wanted to go read about it. So I thought I was putting Long March 5 into a Google query, and I just automatically typed it in chat, on the Flame Trench main chat, just Long March 5 out of nowhere, and everyone's like, what the hell is that? I'm like, now Long March 5. And they're like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, yeah, now Long March 5. So you're saying you had to be there? Kind of. But now that I've explained the joke to you, you too can long march 5. Now watch this drive. We will not rest until we put a stop to these terrorist killers. Now watch this drive. It practically needs to be a shirt at this point. What about copyright though? You know, it's a Chinese rocket. Surely they care about intellectual property. Surely. Surely they do. Maybe they share. Maybe. I'll talk to the NSF merch team. Now Long March 5. Anyway. All right. Is it grinding wheel time? Should we use the grinding wheel or should we use the flap disc? I like using the flap disc because the grinding wheel takes a lot off, and it's very clear that I need to get better at using the damn grinder. Hasn't stopped them before. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. It's our property. Yes, yes. I am good workers player, therefore I am entitled to it. Grinding wheel, then flap disc near the end. Okay? Now flap this wheel. So I had the cutting. I can't breathe in this thing. Let me get the cutting wheel off. Got a nice grinding wheel. I really need another grinder, huh? Okay. Welding mask off. And I vacuumed up the damn floor today. This is where we go and make another frickin' mess. And face shield, that's what we need. Jawohl, Lord Helmet. Is the gas off? No, it's not. I will shut it off now. More car in your vacuum. It's more weld in the vacuum, dude. But yeah, we're not so much grinding off car at this point. More weld than anything. But the weld, we welded to the car, so I don't know. You pick your train of thought there as you see fit. Green. I am serious. Don't call me Shirley. I just wanted to tell you, good luck. We're all counting on you. Okay. Now, let's get in here. Ready? Oh, that's the other thing. Headphone users. This thing is loud. I have hearing protection in. And also, we should probably pull the brass hammer out. Alex, I don't know if I think I see you in chat, but if you're here, I couldn't find a welding spoon, so I bought a brass hammer instead. Guess where it was made? China, 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 China. All right, anyway, headphone users, this thing gets loud, so just be advised. Ow! Oh, dude, the shield does work. I can see it. I can see it flipping on and off. Score. It does work. Yeah, that's right, Rares. Definitely. Oh, yeah. The gas. Yeah, I should probably turn that off. Gas is off. Welder is off. All right, let's go. Dude, there's so much. I put a lot of freaking weld onto this thing. Holy balls. That is a lot of weld, man. Yeah, well, I mean, I said I did that on purpose, so I kind of did. Jeepers creepers. Man, I really built up a lot there, man, but that's okay. Yikes. You bet. Concur. And the other thing is that my wheel is slightly outside of the guard. See that? Just because I still have the chuck piece in there. I might pull that off, dude, so the sparks aren't flying like all over the place. Quick audible on EJ's part. That's part of the chuck, I guess, if we want to call it that, for the cutting wheels. I took it off, and now the grinder's inside of the shield, so you know it doesn't shoot sparks everywhere. Ready? It's still shooting sparks everywhere. Not the spark! Not the spark! Oh no! There's figures in my eyes! The beast! No, I'm just kidding. Just having fun. Man! I immediately regret this decision. No, it's all right. I will tell you, this would really suck if I didn't have the face shield, man. So thank you, chat, for recommending that. This would really suck. Yeah, it would really suck. All right, a little bit more off the top here. Okay, I'm gonna get at this with the flap wheel now. We started getting down to the welds, like the weld that's in the hole right there. We started to get to it. I probably should take a little bit more off this part right here, just a little bit. Okay. Now flap this disc. Yeah. Lose the guard? Nah. Nah, I'm good. I like having the guard there, dude. You can call me a wimp. That's totally cool. Totally fair. I had a cutting wheel disc fly off and impale into my knee one time. I had a bad experience. I had a bad experience. Damn it. I'm deaf. Yeah, I'll keep the guard on there. The reason why that happened, dude, is because when I was using the thing, I turned the cutting wheel. It got stuck on something rusty that I was trying to cut, and the whole thing jerked that way, and the thing came apart, and it went right into my knee, like right here. I'll show you. It went right there. Of course, the thing's in the way. Right there, because I was kind of down like this. Luckily, it went into the meat. Didn't rip any tendons or anything. I got pretty lucky. Don't screw around with cutting wheels. Like, don't do that. Be careful with those things, dudes. All right, let me get my flap disc. But if you use the tool correctly, you won't have to worry about that happening. But chalk that one up to inexperience on my part, but that was a long time ago. I know to keep everything in the plane nowadays. Like, don't try to bend the damn thing. 'Cause if you do, it'll come apart. Consider this, you could have had an opportunity to get some cool robot limbs. True story, yeah. No joke, one of our pilots got nailed in the face by a disc and now he looks like a pirate. Yep. Get the electricity off of that thing when changing the wheel. Okay, Mats, I can do that from now on. Don't forget to use the DA after the flapping disc. I have the DA out, yes. All right, let me put the face shield back on. I bet you wish you had one of these right now. What is one of these? Power brushing. What the frick? Is that a planer? Okay. All right, flap disc time. Face mask is on. Hearing protection, headphone users. We are a little wide in the center. What I'm trying to do is make this flat. I'm trying to make it nice and flush. See how we're starting to get flush over there. We're getting there. We're in the ballpark, dudes, but got more to go. Yeah, we got a lot of metal to take off still. There's a high spot right there. Gotta give it a second, dudes. Let it cool off. It's very hot. Yeah, I can feel the heat. I can barely see the road from the heat coming off. So what I'm trying to do is just get this nice and flat. And what I'm doing is I'm looking down the frame rail to make sure that it's flat. We probably got like 1 or 2 more millimeter to go. Got to take a little bit more. Now keep in mind, it's going to look a little strange, especially right there. It's going to look a little weird right here. There's going to be because there's an indent right there from the spot weld. So basically in between my fingers, that's where it needs to be nice and flat. There's going to be an indent there, and that's okay. But now down here, we're good. That's nice and flush. We should not go down there anymore. We don't want to take too much material off of this thing again. See how it's blended to the weld that's inside of that, still inside of that dang hole that I drilled. We shouldn't go down here anymore. It's just from my fingers up. We are getting very close, dudes. Clearly there's some spots where I missed. There's just a little bit of porosity there. Metrosity, but we'll get it. Yeah, we need to take a lot of material off down here. Yeah, there's just a high spot right where my finger is. All right. Just a bit of silliness, yep. Let me just go at it with the palm sander. Yep, there's still a bunch of high spots. There's still high spots in the metal. That's not flush right there. That's not flush at all. It's close, but yeah, I gotta blend it better. You see that indent right there? That's no good. But over here, it's not that big of a deal. Once again, I'm really aiming for this area right here. We're not completely flush on that side, but we're close. I'm gonna get at it more with the flapper. man, we sealed that up pretty dang good. Look at that, those overlapping welds. There's not nearly as many pinholes as there was, you know, with the previous times that I've done this, dudes. Will it blend? Yeah. Yeah, see, there's just a little indent right there. I want to get it all one shiny consistency. Oh, yeah, Aqualex, big Sharpies. Yeah. Or we could just hit it with some black spray paint, dude. Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. Yeah, you use that to mark the high spots. Now, like, because I can look down it, I can see it, but that's a super good idea. Just get a little bit of paint in there, right? And roll with it. A little bit more flap disc, dudes. Almost got it. That's pretty damn blended, dude. I'll use the palm sander to get the rest of this. Still got a little bit of indent right there. See that right there? For the most part though, very smooth. Very nice. Very nice. That's getting better. We probably should just build the material back up over here. I probably should just weld this. Just add a little bit more and then just crank out. This is a high spot right here. A big high spot. So get that nice and smooth. Fill in a couple of pinholes there. We have good metal over there. We're getting to good metal back here. We know my patch panel is right there, so it's just this little strip right there that we just gotta clean up. But yeah, there we go. It's definitely smooth now. We'll get those little pinholes, a couple of pinholes, just a couple little guys. And then there should be a hole drilled there. Let's see if we can. Nope. I'm gonna have to re-drill that. And then just the bottom of that one got a little smidge. But dude, yeah, look, I mean, there's not a lot of pinholes here on the welds that I did up here. See what I mean? There's not a lot of inconsistency. We filled everything, which means it's not porous. Every one of these little holes right there is just, That's a spot where water could get trapped. You don't want that. I'm just gonna blend the edge here a little bit. All right, that's good. The other welding that we did yesterday, dudes, I'm just gonna get at the rest of it. See all this stuff right here, this schmutz? I'm gonna get at that while we're here. Probably should have got at this stuff with the grinding wheel, but that's okay. Yeah. A little bit off the bottom there. Okay. Good. That one's nice and smooth. Just a couple of pinholes here and there, but now this blistery frickin' mess. Hey, Catchy, what's up, man? Almost got this all done. Should have used the grinding wheel for this, not the flat disc, but end of the rail is pretty good. There's a couple of little pores right there that we got to get at. A couple of little ones. But I really globbed the weld right there on purpose, dudes. I did that on purpose because I needed to do what we did over there, rebuild the metal. I gotta reposition. Almost got that down. Almost. We're almost there. Man, I put a lot of weld on here. I was caking it on yesterday, dudes. Jeepers creepers. All right, I'm gonna get at the rest with the damn sander. Sander with 120 doesn't take off a lot of material. All right, dudes, not bad. So the rear flange where the rear leaf spring perch is supposed to go is pretty clean. Pretty good. It's a little wavy right there. I should probably, now that I can put fingers on it, it's a high spot right there. I'm gonna flap it just a little bit more, okay? Get it nice and consistent. How about now? There's a little bit of a high spot right there. I can feel it. The reason why I'm looking for high and low spots, particularly in this area, is because I need this to be flat. I need it to be flat. I need it to be consistent. I got to fill in some material here. But this is where the leaf spring's going to mount. So this area and this area right there need to be super flat and super strong. Do you have layout fluid? I don't, but I'll tell you what I do have. Primer, just regular black primer or VHT enamel, that'll work. So check this out, dudes. Let me just take some scruff, like matte paint that I have. Here's some Rust-Oleum matte. So if you take this and you spritz it on there a little bit, no, 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 no. You want it to be translucent. This works with Bondo, but I guess you guys don't want to do that, so never mind. Scratch that. Couchy, you read the article on the Coronet. Nice write-up. The pick of it in the snow. Glad you're fixing it up. $120 is the most I have, Joe. Yeah, sorry. I know I should be more prepared. It doesn't look too bad, fellas, though. Like, this is... I'm much more confident about zapping that leaf spring perch in, especially with all this good metal right here now. There is a little high spot right there. I can feel it. Should probably get at that. Over here, though, little seam right there, but for the most part, dude, it's pretty good. I did blow through just a smidge right there, right on the edge of your screen, but that's okay. I want to also get through here and clean this and make it look nice, so I do need to get at this with the flap disc a little bit more. Especially over here.